Okay, so I thought I'd make a video showing you my attempts for confirming the summer solstice, or the longest day of the year this year. So I'll just try and talk about the highlights of what I'm doing here. So you can see this, I just took some chalk and I kind of put this line down so you could kind of see the general idea. And I was really excited to try it on my porch this year. I'm using the chimney corner, that corner up there, and you got to be careful which corner you grab, because as the sun goes around, sometimes your corner might disappear depending. But anyway, somewhere around 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.-ish, that's when this shadow crosses my back porch, and I wanted to do it on the porch here because it was a little easier to kind of tell where the outline of the shadow was as opposed to out in the lawn. And I think that's because of the background color of the wood is good, a background against a shadow, compared to the green grass is kind of harder, and it's flat. And it's not like lumpy like grass. So I wanted to try it on the porch this year. This is the first time I'm getting to do this on this large a scale on so flat a surface. So we'll see. Hopefully the sun will come out at some point today. So today is the day theoretically of the summer solstice, according to what Jerry has claimed and Juan Carlos has claimed in their observations. If you add, so they confirmed the spring equinox in theory. So in theory, the longest day of the year, where the sun is going to reach its turning point, is 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, plus one more day, and that'll get you the summer solstice. And you know, the days get longer and longer until you get to the first day of summer, I guess they call it, and that's the longest day of the year, and then things start to get shorter again. So anyway, if you've ever seen any of my other videos, you'll maybe recognize that usually, I think for the equinox the equinox events and the summer or winter solstice event, I was out in the yard. Like, that's where this chimney shadow was projecting at those times of year. So really, on the shortest day of this pattern you see here is moving. The whole pattern is like moving this way or that way during the course of the year. And so if you've seen some of my other videos, I guess we used to have a flagpole here, so maybe that might be confusing. You don't have that reference point anymore. But where this chicken is, like, I used to have depending on the time of year, the flags were out there, and instead you see them here. So the shadow, what I'm trying to say is this pattern, and I'll just zoom in real quick so you see how this pattern is made. During the course of the day, I'll just watch to see the sun will come off of that. It'll be right behind that corner, and it'll cast a corner shadow down here. And when I zoom in, let's zoom in on, try and find a good one here. I used, let's see here. Oh, I can't zoom in very good. It's not zooming, but you can almost see the pencil lead mark that I made in the shape of the corner of the shadow. And so I just marked these with chalk so you could see them more clearly where I made them. But that's all you do during the course of the day. You just kind of follow the pattern, and so I collected maybe every 10 or 15 minutes, and you just end up getting this pattern. And depending on the time of year it is and how big, how much time you spend during the day, you'll kind of see it has a bit of a curve to it. You can kind of see how it's curving, and theoretically during the or near the equinox events it'll be straight. Anyway, that's how you kind of make your line pattern. But like I said, depending on the time of year, this whole pattern will shift this way or that way. So if you've seen some of the other videos, you'll see that this line pattern was over there for the Equinox events, and then for the winter solstice video I did, it was even farther. It was like down the hill and in the woods. So that's the north-south movement of the pattern that I'm talking about. Like, this entire line pattern is shifting over the course of the year like this, a little bit each day. So on this day of, theoretically, looks like the sun's poking through a little bit, but on this theoretical day of the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, we're looking to see this pattern reach its most extreme point this way. Like, it's been coming, it's been coming, it's been coming, and on the day of, on the day of the longest day of the year, the summer solstice is going to reach its farthest point, and then it's going to start to go back that way, and all the way back down that way, and into the, down over the bank over there, where it was for the winter solstice. And it just kind of, that's the north and south movement that this shadow pattern makes. I mean, obviously, if the sun rises in the east, you know, and sets in the west, you're going to see a big shadow movement during the day along this line. But it's this little bit of movement, north and south movement. This whole line of data is going to shift this way or this way, and depending on the height of your sundial, you'll see more movement. Like, this is the tallest thing I got on the property, but so I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out. This is today. If the sun will come out for me a little bit in a couple hours, I'll get to see for the first time. I think this is going to really be the best case scenario of all my previous videos. So if I don't see a lot of movement with this thing on so flat a surface and such a nice background and all this, I think I'm going to have to next year maybe go looking for a taller sundial, maybe like a tall building in town or something, just so that I can see a more noticeable difference. Because I guess the point of all this is, one of the things I don't like is all these observations that you see. I mean, and other observations that I've done, like if you look at some of my earlier sundial videos, like it's so, the change is like so small when you're using like a 3-inch tall sundial or these really short sundials. It's just like microscopic change from day to day, so it's really hard to kind of pinpoint it or say for sure. So I like the idea of having a taller sundial and being able to see a much more noticeable difference day to day. And I calculated, for example, the Washington Monument. That thing would cast a difference, the pattern moving like this, by as much as 10 feet per day is what I calculated, so there's really no way to mess that up. But anyway, so yeah, this is theoretically the day of the summer solstice. If the sun will come out, it's hiding behind the clouds right now, but if the sun does come out, I'm expecting to see marks for one more day on this side of the line, and hopefully with the height of my sundial, I'm thinking maybe as much as half an inch, as opposed to like a thread's width that you see with some of the other shorter sundials. So that's what I'm hoping to see. And as you can see, there's this arcing. I saw in one of my other, we're having a discussion on another video, and somebody was claiming the solstice event, summer solstice event, happened on the 13th, and I just wanted to comment on that. I don't think it did. I don't know why, what was the reason why somebody thinks that, but I've actually been keeping data for the past week, so I mean back to the 13th I was keeping data, and these white flags are from a week ago, and these orange flags are from yesterday. And so it appears the shadow is still, from 1 week ago, is still progressing this way. And so, as I said, as it's heading towards the summer solstice, the whole pattern will continue to shift this way until the day of the summer solstice, and it'll stop. It'll reach its farthest point on the day of the summer solstice, then it'll start to return. So as far as the claim that it already happened on the 13th, according to what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like it could have happened yet, because it looks like the shadow is still progressing this way. But I haven't heard back from that guy yet who was saying he heard about that, so maybe there's something going on, I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to do this video to I guess let you guys know what I was up to, give you some ideas if you want to try it for yourselves, or you know, as you're experimenting, just different things to think about. But yeah, this out in the yard, I'm not really. This is the critical time for me right here. Right here. This is where I'm going to see something, if I'm going to see it. So I've got from like 1:30ish to like 2:30ish is how long it'll take for the shadow to cover this ground. And so hopefully sometime in that amount of time I will see some sunshine, and I'll be able to confirm at least one mark on, because that's all you need. That's another good point I wanted to mention. Like, I recorded all of these different marks. Like you can see, this hatch mark is everywhere I made a mark, and the reason I do that is because of the situation that I faced today, like where the sun is kind of bobbing behind the clouds. And so the more marks you have, that gives you, then you're able to make this line, and you're able to, if the sun would pop out, like say the sun would pop out somewhere around here. Well, I have a mark here and here, and if it pops out here today, I'll know that it was still on this side of the line, because I had multiple marks and I was able to connect this line. In theory, I mean, if you have perfect sunlight for 3 days in a row, in theory, you might only need to make one mark. Like, you don't have to collect data all day like I do. I just do it because I've never done this before, and I'm really trying to capture this and figure this out. But in theory, if you had three days of solid sunlight, you would only need to get one mark per day. You wouldn't need to do all of this. You could just look at one time per day, and you know, you would have to come back at the same time you made your mark the next day, and you could check, okay, it was here, and then the next day it's here, and the next day it's here, kind of thing. And you wouldn't need to collect all of this data. The only reason I collect all of this data is because I realize it might be overcast like today, and so I need to have this line in order to be able to, if the sun does pop out at some random moment, I need to be able to see kind of how it lines up against. Take advantage of your sunny day, because you might not have sun the next day. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. I guess I'll put this video out there for people to check out, but I'll probably take another video later today to let you know how it went. Hopefully the sun will come out. All I need it to do is come out because I have all of this data now. All I need is for the sun to pop out for like 1 minute. I just need it to pop out for a few seconds today just to confirm it's on that side or that side of the line. So I hope it does. We'll see. I'll post another video, and we'll talk about we'll just see how it goes. All right, bye.